Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 716. Please turn to it. It's 716, and today is our lesson number 83. Problem number 11, the very first problem on the page. Number 11. This page consists of 4 medium questions. The next page will have hard problems, the last 4. But this is quite straightforward. Well, not quite straightforward, but these are medium questions. Yes, we are told when the positive even integer n, so we have positive, we are told it has to be positive and it has to be even. When positive even integer n is increased by 50% of itself, so whatever n is, we're going to take 50% of it. And when we do that, we are told that the results falls between 10 and 20. This result, this quantity here, has to be less than 20. Has to be less than 20. And more than 10. It has to fall between 10 and 20. This is what we are told. I'm going to read it one more time. When the positive even integer n is increased by 50% of itself, in other words, whatever the n is, you take half of it and you add up the two quantities, and that sum has to fall between 10 and 20. What is one possible value of n? These are gradient questions. These are open-ended questions where we have to come up with our own answer. And therefore, many times you will find that these questions have more than one right answers. Sometimes they have infinite number of answers. Our job is to simply find one legitimate answer, and as long as you can do that, the computer will accept it. So if it has 15 right answers, your job is to simply locate one of those 15 answers, and that's it. That's what we're going to do here. Since it has to be positive and even integer, we're going to start with the lowest positive even integers that we can find, and we're just going to keep on going, and we're going to actually find all the answers. Even though the problem requires us to find only one, let's find all of them. The lowest positive even integers that we can have is 2 plus 50% of 2. Half of 2 is 1. But as you can see, 2 plus 1 is 2 plus 1 is less than 10. It has to be more than 10. This sum has to fall between 10 and 20. It has to be more than 10. So 2 does not work. Let's try 4. 4 plus half of 4 is 2, which is 6. 6 is also less than 10. The sum has to be between 10 and 20. That doesn't work. Let's try 6. 6 plus half of 6 is 3. 6 plus 3 is less than 10. That doesn't work. The sum has to be more than 10, but less than 20. Let's try 8. 8 plus half of 8. Half of 8 is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Oh, that does work actually. So we found the first winner. We found the first winner because this. So we found the first winner. I'm going to rewrite it. 2, 4, and 6 do not work, so I'm going to erase them. And now we'll see that if we have 8 plus half of 8, which is 4, that does fall between 10 and 20. So that works. We found our first answer. 8 works. Let's try 10. So 8 does the job. Let's try 10. 10 plus half of 10, which is 15, and 15 is more than 10, but less than 20. So that works. We found one more answer. So far we have found 2. Let's try 12. 12 plus half of 12, 50% of 12, which is 6. 12 plus 6 is 18, and 18 is less than 20, but more than 10. So that works. Next comes 14. You see, 8, 10, 12. Let's try 14. 14 plus half of 14, 50% of 14, which is 7. 14 plus 7 is 21, and 21 is more than 20. 21 is more than 20. It does not work. So that's where our story ends. Our story begins with 8 and ends at 14. So therefore the correct answer choices are 8, 10 and 12. If you grade in any one of these three answer choices, you will get the full credit. That's all. Don't try to grade all of them. Do you understand? Besides, there is not enough room for that. This is number 12. Number 12. Perimeter of a rectangular plot, we are told, is 250 meters. So let's draw rectangular plot. Here is our length, and here is the width. So we know that length plus width has to equal 250. If the length of one side of the plot is 40 meters, alright, so length of one side of the plot is 40 meters. What we do not know is whether it's the length or the width. We have no way of knowing it. So we're just going to pretend one and see what happens. So if it's 40, if this 40 plus 40, let's pretend the length is 40. In which case 40 plus 40 plus 2w, w plus w equals 250. Equals 250. That means 2w equals 250 minus 80. 250 minus 100 would be 150. Therefore 250 minus 80 would be 170. Equals 2w, and therefore w equals 170 divided by 2. How many 2's in a 1? Let's do it here. How many 2's in a 1? 1 has 0 2's. That one goes and joins the 17, joins the 7 and becomes 17. How many 2's in 17? 17 has 8 2's. 8 2's are 16. 8 2's are 16. The remaining one goes and joins this guy, becomes 10. How many 2's in a 10? 10 has 5 2's. So it's 85. Since it turns out to be 85, it's not a big deal. It doesn't change anything. It just changes the name. We cannot call it the width. These are lengths. These are lengths. These are lengths. And W was 40. And now we found out the length is 85. But it doesn't change anything. It does not change anything at all. Because when we're talking about the area of a rectangle, which is exactly, I think, what they're asking here, what is the area of the plot? Since we're looking at the area of the plot, it doesn't matter which one you call length and which one you call width. Why? Because we're going to multiply the two quantities. So it doesn't matter which one you call what, the product of the two quantities is going to be the same. Whether you do 40 times 85 or 85 times 40, it's not going to give us a different answer. So let's find out the area. Right, let's do it right here. The area is 85 times 40. 4 5s are 20, 0, carry 2, 8 4s are 32, 32 plus 2 is 34. There we go, that's our answer. 3,400 or 3,400 is our answer. That's it. Number 13. Problem number 13. A school ordered $600 worth of light bulbs. Some of the light bulbs cost $1 each, and other cost $2 each. So let's call them the cheap ones and the expensive ones. So the cheap ones were $1 each, and the expensive one were $2 each. I'm going to call the expensive one with the letter E. E will represent, for us, E will represent the number of expensive bulbs that we bought, and letter C will represent the number of cheap light bulbs we bought. What are they asking? and we are told that we bought $600 worth of them. If twice as many $1 bulbs as $2 bulbs were bought, how many light bulbs were ordered? Well, let's find out. So they're buying it in set. They're buying two cheap ones. They're buying two cheap ones for one expensive one. For every time they buy one expensive one, they buy two cheap ones. That's what it says here. It says if twice as many $1 bulbs as $2 bulbs were ordered, how many light bulbs were ordered? Let's find out what's the cost of this one set. The cost of the one set here is, the cheap one is $1, this cheap one is another $1, this one is going to be $2. So the cost of one set is $4. And we're defining set as, what is our set? Our set consists of two cheap ones and one expensive one. That's what our set is. And the cost of one set is $4 because it's $1 plus $1 plus $2. And we spent a total of $600. So how many sets did we buy? How many sets did we buy? How do we find that? Well, we spent $600 and each set cost $4. So we must have bought 150 sets. 150 sets. But that's not the end of the story. Don't grade in 150. Remember, our set consists of, I'm putting this in quotation because that's not the term they use anywhere in the problem. We just made it up ourselves. Our set consists of a cheap one, and an expensive one. And we bought 150 sets. Each set has three bulbs in it. Each set has 3 bulbs in it. Therefore, we bought 3 times 150 or 450 light bulbs. 150 set, each has 3, therefore it's 450. Each set has 3 bulbs in it, therefore we must have bought 450 bulbs with $600. That's it. 450 total number of bulbs. And how does it break up? 450 total bulbs. And how does it break up? Very easy, very simple. We must have bought 300 cheap ones and 150 expensive ones. 300 cheap ones will cost $300 and 150 expensive one will cost 150 times 2 or another $300 for a grand total of $600, which is what we were told that the school spent. The school spent a total of $600, and that's what they bought. They bought a total of 450 bulbs. Number 14. 4 times x plus y times x minus y equals 40. But then they go on to tell us that x minus y equals 20. So let's put it in there. X minus y equals 20. The question is, what's the value of x plus y? So we're just going to solve for this x plus y. Let's divide both sides by 4. And this 4 drops out, and x plus y times 20 equals 40 divided by 10, which is 40 divided by 4, which is 10. And now let's divide both sides by 20. And x plus y equals 10 over 20. And of course you divide top and bottom by 10, and the answer is 1/2. X plus y equals 1/2. And that's our answer. That's what we want to grade in. No, when the answer turns out to be fraction, I like to leave it the way it is. Don't waste your time. Don't get into complications, because if the answer turns out to be 1/3, just grade it in as 1/3, because if you grade that in as 0.33, you will not get credit for it. You will not get credit. The rules are very complicated as to how you can grade in your decimals. Read the rules in the book somewhere. Acquaint yourself if you're hell-bent on grading in your decimals. Therefore, I don't like to grade in decimals at all. I try to avoid them as much as I can. If the answer turns out to be 5/7, leave it the way it is. Don't mess with it. Just grade in 5/7. So that's what I'm going to grade in. 1/3. That's all. Or rather, 1/2. 1/2. That's it. The answer is 1/2. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.